I'm Dylan.
I'm Camille of the undead.
Nice.
I got bit by a vampire. Ah! Whoops.
Do you think it would be a whoops for you, or would it be like a choice? Because I feel like there's two parts of Camille, right? And one part, 100% you do it, and then the other part you don't.
Right. So I think it depends on the situation.
Right.
I think I would already...
Like, is he hot or not?
Yeah.
That's it. You're like, I'm not getting turned by a ugly vampire.
No, that's not. No. No. Do I like the person? I think I would have to seek... No, sorry. Scratch that. I think that I would have to know the vampire already. If I were making the choice about whether or not I was going to be vamped for life. Because if True Blood taught us anything, guys, it is that long-term relationships with a vampire can be pretty problematic.
Because they're the longest term, potentially, relationship.
Right. And that's like friendship, romantic relationship, familial relationship. Am I doing it? We're all just bam, bam.
Yeah.
Bam. It's two. Okay. Yeah. So I think that I would have to like the person to then decide, because that's a commitment.
I mean, that's like, if you're thinking about it that way, you're gonna have to like really like that person.
Right.
Like, can I like you for the rest? Not even like the rest of my life.
Right.
Because like you and I, we're due to elope at the end of this month.
Oh.
But
yeah.
But I know that at most,
Yes.
we only have like 100 more years together.
Yeah. Wow. Man, that would be a lot of, dude. We'd be the oldest people alive at that point if that were the case. But yeah, I mean,
actually, I don't know that that's true. Weirdly enough.
Really? Do you think there's somebody older than 135?
I think I watched some video about it the other day, and honestly, some people really got up there.
Okay.
Like over 110.
Are these mountain people?
I don't think so. None of them were American. I can
Cave
tell you
people?
that.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, yes. So, like, okay, if
not to say that I wouldn't marry you if it was forever.
right,
You know, but I'm just saying, like, the stakes
are a little higher.
Get it?
Yeah.
The stakes
That was.
are.
I'm really sorry.
Higher.
I just like glazed over that.
The stakes are a little higher when it is truly forever.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's kind of the way I feel about it.
Unless you suicide pact with the other one. It's just like, look, let's cash out.
And we're done.
At like 500 years or something.
Here are all the chips.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that probably that would have a lot to do with my decision, or at the very least, like, we would have to know, like, you and I, this is like probably too real. This is not funny at all, but like, you know,
Whatever.
this is real life, you guys.
Yeah.
We're just living our lives, okay? Like, we do preemptive marital counseling, just to like
Right.
make sure we're solid.
We just need a ref.
Just a ref sometimes to be like, well, that was whatever. Probably, hopefully your counselor isn't like, well, that was dumb.
Right.
That's a bad counselor probably. But that would be a thing too. Like, again, even if it were non-romantic, probably just like, hey, I need an unbiased third party, just kind of like hanging out, making sure we're not like frivolously draining our friends because we're actually mad at each other, you know?
Right.
Or
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
you know, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
important. So I don't know. What about you?
When we have an argument, I'm like, I'm gonna go hang out with the pack tonight, and I turn into a wolf, and I'm like, and then me and a bunch of my wolf friends just go hang out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, literally whatever. Literally okay.
Yeah.
Fine, I'm gonna fly away as a bat lady.
So would you pick bat over wolf? Okay, hold on. We're gonna get into this.
We gotta
later.
get into it because we have options.
Me, yes,
Would
I
you?
would be a
I
vampire
already knew the
100%.
answer to
Yes.
that. I already
Absolutely.
knew the-
If someone was like, "Hey, I want to," shut up. I got you, bro.
Yeah.
Do it.
Right here,
Just don't
buddy.
fully drain me, because then you die. But if it's like a little suck, then like, you know.
I'd definitely be somebody's friend and let them feed on me.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of hot. I'm not gonna lie, but
Wow.
Sorry. Again, too real.
Yeah.
But
So the reason why we're talking about vampires is because this
Okay.
episode is about vampires.
It is.
Because next week we're talking about From Dusk Till Dawn.
I feel like that's kind of what I was channeling here. It was sort of like,
Oh, 100%. You got it.
yeah.
You nailed it.
Thank you.
Mhm,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Also, like Dolly Parton, Tanya Tucker, vampire.
Mm-hmm. I tell you what.
You know what?
Ye gnaw. I'm saying. Like gnawing on someone.
Oh.
Yeah.
My nose is kind of stopped up. It's hard to do. And I had the black lipstick. It's kind of hard to.
I had band practice, so my throat hurts.
We're complainers. Okay, go. Do it. What are we talking about?
We're talking about vampires. So, I'm going to make this brief because most of you know what their powers are. So,
Do you? Oh, wait. Can I interrupt you for one moment before we ever even get started?
Sure.
Okay, guys. Valentine's has come and passed. And hopefully you were able to celebrate in whatever way you saw fit or not fit. I got us a little special late Valentine's treat.
Oh, okay.
So I just wanted to share a little sippy sip with you here
Okay.
from my reserves.
Oh,
Whoops. It's fine. It's a sturdy bottle.
look at
Gonna give
that.
Yes. Here we go. Just a little. I believe this is, 1990 O positive.
I hate that.
Only the finest for my love.
Oh.
So I'm just going to pour some of this up in our OK cider cup. They are, I should have D whatever.
They needed a polish.
They needed a polish,
But
and
that's
I didn't
okay.
do it. Here we are. But if you like cider, okciderco.com. I don't know why.
Just go to OK Cider.
Just go there physically, or you can check out their website.
Not a sponsor, but
They're not, but if you're gluten-free and you like booze.
yeah.
Anyway, I'm just going to pour us up some here while you continue.
What is it?
I already told you, it's O positive from 1990. It's been aging this whole time.
Oh, okay. Cool. It's older than me. So, all right, we're going to go over the powers, weaknesses, and miscellaneous. So they can drain blood from their victim to turn them into vampires. In some stories, the vampires will straight kill the victim by fully draining them. Make them a little husk. But just a little suck will turn the victim into a vamp slave to Daddy Vamp.
Yummy.
They have super strength, can turn into bats or wolves. I didn't really know that they could turn into wolves until we played Curse of Strahd, which is funny.
Well, I think if you've ever watched, I'm all over the place here. Sorry. If you've ever watched Bram Stoker's
I haven't actually seen
Dracula,
that one.
have you not? I thought
haven't.
we watched it together. We watched an interview with a vampire.
Yeah.
That's when we had. That's also chanting a little Bram Stoker's Dracula vampire. Here with this guy here, this little hairpiece.
This little poof.
It's my real hair. It's not. I mean, who cares? Even if it's not. But little poof, little Dracula poof.
Yeah.
Anyway, wolves. Yes.
So yes, they can turn into wolves.
There you are.
Thank you. And they also have hypnotic powers or suggestions and stuff like that, which is very cool. Weaknesses, they can't go out in the daylight. All right, that's it.
No, what?
Well, there's also, it's the only like big weakness other than like if you stake them in the chest, like in the heart, then that's how you actually kill it. But that's just death. That's not really a weakness.
Oh, I've got some interesting things in my tome here that have nothing to do with vampires. Let me just move this. What about garlic, sir? What say ye of garlic?
Oh, yeah, I guess they have like a... But it's like... I feel like with garlic, it's less of like, this can kill them.
Right.
And more of like, man, this shit smells so bad, I don't want to be in here sort of situation.
Sure, maybe a stomach irritation of sorts. Like if you have a sensitivity, perhaps.
So it's like, it will give a vampire IBS. Like,
Yeah, which is...
enough to make me not want to go somewhere.
It's not
if I
fun.
knew.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You want to really be mindful of that. Also, not a sponsor, but if you have IBS, maybe check out Nerva. It's an app that this really doesn't sound like it, but I just started it because I have IBS.
Yeah.
It's an app that teaches you how to like mind over matter your IBS, which sounds impossible, but so far so good, truly. How's it treating you over there?
It's good.
Yeah, it is.
It's real good.
You love blood.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Anyway, go on.
Miscellaneous. Can't cast a shadow. Can't see reflections.
Can't cast a shadow at all?
No, apparently not.
Well,
that's one
is
of the
that
things.
because they are going in sunlight?
Yeah. I'm assuming. All of my notes, by the way, I got from History Channel. A History Channel, what's it called?
.com.
Blog. Which is cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Okay.
Because they're real.
So I'm going to give some touches of history for you. I know that Camille has some stuff too.
Sure. I'll just chime in from time to time and totally derail you. Go ahead.
Cool.
Okay.
So, in the beginning, it's thought that Bram Stoker named Count Dracula after Vlad Dracul, also known as Vlad the Impaler. I'm sure some of you already know this, but Vlad was born in Transylvania, Romania. He ruled, well, how do you say it? Wallachia, Romania? Wallachia, Romania?
Maybe it's pronounced with like a V sound. Wallachia.
Wallachia?
Perhaps, or
Wallachia,
maybe not.
Romania? Off and on from 1456 to 1462. Some historians describe him as a just yet brutally cruel ruler who valiantly fought off the Ottoman Empire. He earned his nickname because his favorite way to kill his enemies was to impale them on a wooden stake.
Sorry, it's not
Wow. Nice.
The blood is just really
Really
telling you,
doing it?
But my stomach doesn't hurt. Thank you,
That's good.
Nerva.
That's good.
So.
Wow. According to legend, Vlad Dracul enjoyed dining amongst his dying victims and dipping his bread in their blood.
Like a marinara.
Yeah. A spicy marinara. Yeah, dude.
Fun.
Whether those gory tales are true is unknown. Many people believe these stories sparked Stoker's imagination to create Count Dracula, who was also from Transylvania, sucked his victim's blood, and could be killed by driving a stake through its heart.
Hot.
So just like moved it around, the stake part.
Right.
A Dracula expert by the name of Elizabeth Miller claims Stoker didn't base Dracula off of Vlad.
Okay, when you say Dracula expert, you don't have to do this because there are actual historians that have stuttered probably too, from time to time, but studied Dracula, the literary piece, as part of their career and education. They're not like just like out there like vampires are real, y'all. They're like,
yeah. I feel like she wasted her time though.
well, what are we doing here? This
No. Here's the thing.
Okay.
She says that Dracula wasn't based off Vlad the Impaler.
Okay.
I disagree. Just by any information about Dracula and Vlad the Impaler.
So what did she posit? that it was based off of?
Nothing. Didn't base Dracula off of Vlad. But
There's got to be more to it. They've just skimmed over this, but
that's fine.
I'm just giving this complete stranger that I have no investment in whatsoever. Is that a word? That's a word, right?
I think so.
Probably. Vestment. The benefit of the doubt for no reason.
That word actually means when you have a mint in your vest.
Which is a fun surprise. You know? It's always nice. Especially after you've been drinking this tasty Old Positive from 1990.
Okay.
From my very own cellars.
So, in the Middle Ages, vampire fever was at its peak.
Oh, Lord.
The plague was ravaging Europe, and folks thought it was caused by vampires. Not everyone, but seemed like a few people, at the very least.
Yeah.
As you may know, the plague would leave victims with bloody, just like the shit on their fucking lips.
Like sputum would come out. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they would have just like gnarly, bloody mouth sores, essentially.
Right.
And so people thought that if you had that, it was because you chomped on somebody's neck.
Not because you had the Black Plague. Or
right.
Whatever.
Yeah, they tried to they tried to make the plague. I mean, like written in like literature at the time, they were trying to find out a reason why the plague was happening.
Which is why there's all of everything in the world is to try to understand our world. So we've got literature and mythology and vampires.
Yeah. So people thought that if you had the plague, you were a vampire a lot of the time.
Sure.
People also thought another reason why is because people would also develop this disease called porphyria, Porphyria.
That sounds good. Yeah. Good job.
It was a blood disorder that caused severe blistering on the skin when exposed to the sunlight.
Oh, gosh.
And they link that to a vampire legend.
Sure.
That's outside of the plague, but
because they can't go outside.
Right.
Or into direct sunlight.
And here's the kicker.
Okay.
A way to temporarily stave off the effects of the disease was to consume blood.
According to the doctors at this time.
Right.
In what time?
I mean, in the Middle Ages.
So, okay.
So
everything was about blood or
right.
or
it was also the same time where
yeah.
you're like, I have a headache, and then they would bleed your dome.
They would be like, well, let's see what this does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, just in your temple out. Yeah, I forget that we're not only visually recording this, we're also recording a podcast. Yes. Yeah, I gotcha.
And then other things linked to vamps was rabies and goiter. I didn't look up what goiter was. I was going to, but I didn't.
Have you ever? So I'm sure there's more to it than this, but like if you've ever seen a goiter, like you would know. There's like people with goiters. I don't know if there are other places you can get them, but where I've seen them most frequently in my goiter studies is here in the neck region between like the jawline and the collarbone, essentially. Like there's like a large growth of sorts.
The goiter growth?
The goiter growth.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's rough.
I'm not a doctor or medical professional, but that's where I've seen them most.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so lastly, for my information, this is a true story by a woman who existed, or about a woman who existed.
It is true to the belief that she thought it was true.
No, so the story is about Mercy Brown.
Okay.
Mercy Brown passed away.
Got it.
This story is about her and her family.
I see.
Brought to you by the History Channel. Sort of. Mercy Brown may rival Count Dracula as the most notorious vampire.
Oh.
Unlike Count Dracula, however, Mercy was a real person. She lived in Exeter, Rhode Island, and was the daughter of George Brown, a farmer. After George lost many family members, including Mercy, in the late 1800s to tuberculosis, his community used Mercy as a scapegoat to explain their deaths. It was common at the time to blame several deaths in one family on the undead.
Of course. Yes.
The bodies of each dead family member were often exhumed and searched for signs of vampirism.
Wow.
When Mercy's body was exhumed and didn't display severe decay, not surprising, since her body was placed in an above-ground vault during a New England winter,
quite cold.
The townspeople accused her of being a vampire and making her family sick from her icy grave.
Well, I call bullshit.
They cut out her heart, burned it, and then fed the ashes to her sick brother. Perhaps not surprisingly, he died shortly thereafter.
Yeah, he died. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's dead. Yeah.
So,
I mean, obviously now, but clearly.
That's one of many accounts of, real life vampire stuff.
Yes.
Outside of like people that go to like vampire nightclubs and like literally drink blood and say they're vampires.
To which
but that's
I
like now.
say, okay.
In this economy?
I mean, right. In this economy? How do you...
Yeah.
Also, blood banks really need blood. So, you guys should definitely consider donating.
Bleed the bat, if you know what I mean. So you had information, yeah?
Okay, yes, I do. I've got information about vampires in my very special Unicorns Are Real notebook that I would love to share. This is my unicorn grimoire.
Oh, you're such a evil vampire.
You see this? Can you see?
It's in a holographic too?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Do you see the effects of my power?
Okay.
Okay. What do I have here? It looks like I wrote some hearts. I drew some hearts around the word vampire and some X's and O's and some words that I don't know what it means now. So I was really trying to focus when I did this, and now I'm just making myself laugh. Okay. Well, so there was a Tibetan Book of the Dead called don't know why I thought I could read this handwriting, Bondo Sardo.
Okay.
I believe. And so they had some writings about vampires that kind of gave you some insight as to how to destroy a vampire.
Okay.
They believed that, and as a vampire, I'm against this. I would like to just come right out and say,
okay,
against this. Must be cremated, or you've got the dome. I think we all know what the dome means. And
cut the head off.
I don't think we can say things like that so much anymore.
Decapitate?
I think what I was doing was probably safer for us to not get pulled. But yeah, I mean, yes, you're right. Yes.
We're not going to.
Doing that.
We're not going to get pulled. I promise you we're not. Not enough people watch the show for us to get pulled. Maybe later on.
One can dream. One can dream. Okay, anyway, so yes, decapitate. Don't ever do it. It's bad. Don't do it. Nobody's a vampire. Don't do it. So, and then you have to leave the body separate from the head for the birds to eat.
Okay.
Literally for the birds.
Wow.
Being a vampire is for the birds.
That's rough.
If you're anywhere near Tibet, apparently.
Uh-huh.
Let's see here. In 1912, we've got an account of a real live vampire in Louisiana. They found dismembered bodies left with little to no blood around this area. This sounds like a joke, and this is not a joke. I'm not going to say it's not made up, but I didn't make it up, is what I'm going to say. So the people of this town or city or whatever got together a Catholic priest and a voodoo priest, apparently.
Fucking hell yeah, dude.
To start hunting the vampire. Yeah. So
That's so badass.
yes, and they're
So they got the healer and then the DPS sorcerer guy.
You were a nerd.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just kidding. Yeah, they did. So they tried to find the vampire by following the murder victims, I guess, essentially. And the murder victims followed along the train line. And there was a pale dude hanging out down there that nobody recognized. And he was covered in blood. And they interrogated and bullied people around the area, again, Catholic and voodoo priest, until they gave them this guy's name, Auguste de Lagrange was his name. And
it sounds like a vampire name.
They did decide he was a vampire.
Oh, shit.
Indeed.
Yeah.
They staked him in the chest, and just for extra super duper carefulsies, they utilized a tool that sounds like schmacks against his body until he died.
Wow.
And so he was no longer alive after that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, turns out he wasn't before anyway, because he was undead.
Undead!
And there's no way that you can prove that that was wrong, because they staked him first.
And
then he died.
And then he died. And if you'd like to see his heart... all the air quotes. If you'd like to see his heart, you can at a museum, at the Vampire Museum.
They really fucked this guy up.
In New Orleans. I think his body is supposed to be there as well. So,
wow.
I don't think any of what you're going to see is real. I think that is on the record, at least the hard part. But, why not? It's kind of fun. Go check it out. The fact that they
in New Orleans.
Murdered this guy is not fun, though. Sad.
Right.
That's in New Orleans.
So were the Coffin Girls. Where allegedly vampires might have come to America in the first wave of vamps.
Through the port there? Through the port there, like we know. Yeah.
Like, they sent over a bunch of France's finest women, and they all showed up holding weird wooden boxes, and they were, like, super pale and blistery.
Oh.
And then they shoved those girls in a 3-story tall building and shuttered all the windows from the inside. And then one day, I think all of the women vanished. And there's, I guess, a case where some people... It's also owned by the church. And these people tried to go and, like, investigate. Like, do, like, a ghost hunt sort of vampire hunt thing. The church wouldn't let them. They broke in and went in anyway. And then, allegedly, their bodies were found the next day outside of the building. Dead.
Oh. The investigators' bodies? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Check out This Paranormal Life. They have a whole episode about that. It's very
such a fun
cool.
podcast. They're such fun guys.
Yeah.
Well, all bad news bears.
Yeah.
Ship travel is notoriously bad, and you will obviously end up almost dead if you're in history times.
That's true.
So, bad news bears, but also maybe vampires. Who knows?
Yeah.
In 1726 in Serbia, there was a dude that became vamped after a fall. That's the end of my notes on that,
wow.
I think. Because I was like, I don't want to do all of these now. There's a lot of these.
So he just fell?
There's more to that story. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could check it out. But yeah.
He fell on a bat, and it was like, kink.
And then he was like, oh, I have something, like, what is this on my back? Oh my God. And then all of a sudden he was like, must have blood. Like that.
Yeah.
That's what happened. So, in Greek folklore, If you were born with your caul still attached, which a caul is like the amniotic sac that's filled with amniotic fluid, and if you want to get real enlightened, feel free to Google that. You can
should.
find images and videos of babies born with their calls, and they're totally safe. Everything's still fine. They literally just come out in their amniotic sac, so they're still just like, I'm inside my mom, until somebody like cuts the sac open, and then they're like, what is happening? Being born is really traumatic. Anyway, so if you were born with this caul, in Greek folklore, you're believed to be a vampire. And it was bad.
Didn't they start cults too? Like people that
Yeah.
were born in the caul.
So that's the thing. In Greek mythology, bad. But like most other mythology, if you were born with your caul, it was considered good luck, and you were supposed to have been able to... you're supposed to have been more perceptive, have a more of a sixth sense that made you more in tune with paranormal and witches, and being able to like tell who had the gift and who didn't, and things like that.
Cool.
So yes, there was a cult that was started by people who were born with a cauls, and I'm trying to find it here. A group of like born individuals. What did I? Yeah, I don't know. I was falling asleep while I was writing this, unfortunately. There it is. It was the Berlindonti, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's how you say that. Berlindonti or Bernardonti.
That's cool.
But I think it's Berlindonti, but you guys should Google it for reals. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They would wear their cauls around their necks. Like they would dry them out and wear them around their necks.
Ooh, that's gross.
So, I mean,
it's cool, but it's also gross.
kind of fun. And then also
It's keeping your foreskin and wearing it as a pinky ring.
kind of cute, right? No, it's not. It's not cute. A lot of people used to keep those rings that they would use. Like the little rings that they would put on your penis when you would get... No? You never saw? Well,
I was a baby.
well, your parents didn't like show you? I don't know. My mom kept my brother's. I don't know if that's okay to... I don't know if she still has it, but like when I was a kid, you know, because your parents would keep weird things like locks of hair, teeth. My mom kept a lot of our teeth.
Yeah, my parents kept a lot of my teeth too.
Yeah.
And my hair.
Yeah. And I don't know now that I would, like, I mean, we don't really want to have children, but like, would you... I don't know that I would get our kids circumcised, to be honest. If we had a boy.
We're gonna have this talk right now.
I'm just saying. I don't know. It's a thing to think about, and
Yeah, probably not. But I have my reasons.
what's the point? Is kind of what. No, we're not going there. Okay, and we're moving on.
Yeah.
That's how you get me back on track. I like what you did there.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So in European folklore, they believed that vampires could not cross running water. So
Oh yeah.
That's-
okay. I've heard of that one too.
yeah, that's a good reason to have a moat. I will
Yeah.
forever. I mean, moats don't really have running water, so maybe you put a water fixture,
Mhm.
at like the base, at one of the bases of your moat, because it's like
Yeah.
a moat's round, right? So you put a water fixture that's like a little waterfall, and it just flows into your moat and then back around and then back up and back down, and then that's running water, and then a vampire will never come into your house.
Yeah.
But don't do that, because I'm a vampire and I want to come into your house.
And they also have to be invited in. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
and then they were repelled by excuse me, silver, garlic, and wolfsbane.
Oh, okay. I forgot about the wolfsbane.
The wolfsbane. It's also important if you've been attacked in the night, it's important to discern between whether or not you've been attacked by a vampire or an old hag.
Oh.
There's a difference. There's a
Okay.
difference in attacks and obviously a difference in entities
Yeah.
as well. Their attacks seem really similar, but an old hack is someone who just keeps trying and just doesn't ever give up the ghost, even though like just rest, you know, time to retire.
Yeah.
An old hag. Nowadays, I would say an old hag is going to be more akin to like sleep paralysis,
Okay.
or having night terrors.
Sleep paralysis seems so scary.
It does seem so scary. Quit thinking about it now. Don't think about it anymore. We're done talking about sleep paralysis. That's how my brain works. I'm
Yeah.
like, but what if I think about it and then it happens?
Yeah.
No, let's not even entertain the idea.
Right.
So that's what being attacked by an old hag is more like. I think it's more like you have no control, and maybe I read some accounts that it might be a little sexy, might be a little not sexy, obviously,
Yeah.
depending on kind of what's going on there. Clearly, vampire attacks a little different, and you're gonna wake up with some wounds if you wake up,
Yeah.
or you might die.
That's true.
Different options, different outcomes.
Yeah.
And lastly, the vampire terminology
Mm-hmm.
was first introduced into English in 1732, hailed from German and French tales.
Oh. That's cool.
The end of my
Nice.
notes.
Okay.
Called it quits at that point.
Nice.
Finn.
Well, we have to do the same with this episode. But thank you guys for watching. We hope you learned some things.
Yes.
If we missed anything that you feel is of importance,
Not possible.
leave a comment down below if you're watching this on YouTube. But yeah, next week we're talking about Dawn. No, I keep wanting to say Dawn of the Dead, but that's not what it is. From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes.
Very excited to watch that movie again.
It's a real fun one.
Yeah,
It's just real fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys have any suggestions on occult objects, cryptid stuff, any weird junk you want us to talk about on a midweek creep that it's just me and Camille, let us know.
Let us know.
Slide into them DMs on Instagram.
You're allowed. We give
Yeah.
you consent.
Yeah. So, or leave a comment down below, like we said.
You can even email us.
Yeah. blackhathorrorpod@gmail.com.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Do you want to clink? One last
Oh,
sip
yeah.
for the road.
One last sip for the road, baby.
Tastes like water and chocolate.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It really does.
All
All right,
right.
we'll talk to you later.
Bye.